Democrats, they seek permanent power to continue harming America. That's my take on our bloated, expensive, and unaccountable government in tonight's preamble. This government is too big and spends too much. If our elected leaders worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year, they still couldn't give proper constitutional oversight to a government that has definitely grown beyond the consent of the governed. The Department of Justice and the FBI raid on President Trump's home is further evidence of this. A day after the raid, the out-of-control DOJ and rogue FBI leadership ordered the seizure of the cell phone of a 5-term GOP congressman and Trump supporter, Scott Perry. He was on vacation with his family, who had to witness the whole thing go down. When the FBI needs something from a Democrat, lawmakers, well, they're afforded courtesy and discretion and asked through subpoena for their materials. The GOP is treated to the equivalent of a rough ride by DOJ honchos, a DOJ that has been corrupted by the American left. But the corruption runs deeper. The judge who greenlit the raid on President Trump's home turns out to be a Democrat donor. Shocker, I know. Contributing thousands of dollars to resident Barack Hussein Obama, the most anti-American occupier of the Oval Office we have ever had, and the man who is getting his 3rd term by populating the Biden administration with his sycophants. That same judge, by the way, also has ties to another high-profile Democrat donor. Federal Judge Bruce Reinhart reportedly represented those employed by convicted child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. According to reports from the Miami Herald, Reinhart spent 10 years in that private practice after leaving his government position before becoming a federal magistrate in 2018. Here's what we know. The DOJ and the FBI leadership have undertaken selective prosecution. Democrats like Hunter Biden and Hillary Clinton, they get to skate, while GOP Trump loyalists like Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, Rudy Giuliani, Peter Navarro, and others are given the equivalent of a rough ride, if not full-on prosecution. Here's what else we know. The FBI lied to a FISA court in order to spy on the Trump campaign. Here's what we don't know. With an FBI leadership whose conduct raises serious questions about their integrity, what kind of pressure did the DOJ and FBI leadership bring to bear on this judge to sign off on this clearly politically motivated search warrant, given the judge's history? Or did he need any convincing? I think a special counsel investigation of everybody involved should take place to get to the bottom of exactly what transpired here. What about this? According to James Gagliano, a security and law enforcement analyst for CBS News, former senior FBI lawyer Kevin Kleinsmith, who was found guilty of forgery in the Trump-Russia probe, has been restored to, quote, good standing status by the District of Columbia Bar Association, despite not fully completing his probation sentence. Not a very high bar there on the bar. That's right. According to left-wingers, breaking the law to take out your political enemies, no big deal. In fact, in Democrat circles, it's a resume enhancement. With this level of corruption in the so-called halls of justice, is it any wonder why President Trump suspects that evidence may have been planted by rogue elements in the FBI dedicated to their corrupt leadership, rather than to the law and to the American people? It's clear, even to the most casual observer, the America First agenda is seen by the creatures of Washington as the biggest threat to their cushy and corrupt environment in the swamp. The January 6th kangaroo court has been a joke and a colossal failure. It has fooled or persuaded nobody. Nancy Pelosi, Adams, Schiff, and Kinzinger, and Liz Cheney couldn't care less about security breaches that day. They only care about getting Trump and keeping a corrupt, stupid, and lazy bunch of elitists in charge of your life. Now they have co-opted the leadership in the agencies like the FBI, turning them against the very people they swore to protect. More to the point, lazy lawmakers have turned over the power you gave them to nameless, faceless bureaucrats who get automatic funding regardless of their performance or adherence to the law. And in exchange for enslaving you and your hard-earned money to the class of unelected corruptocrats, your politicians live high in the hog. They go to their little cocktail parties and never have to deal with what they consider to be the rabble. We the people. Case in point, Mitch McConnell. He's emblematic of the creatures of the institutions that have failed because of his Chuck Schumer's and Nancy Pelosi's brand of lazy legislator? When asked about the DOJ's betrayal of our people, the biggest threat to national unity we have faced since the Civil War, McConnell had this to say.
I'm here today to talk about the flood and the recovery from the flood.
Democrats are attacking the America First agenda because they know they have ruined the lives of so many Americans. They don't want to be held accountable for all of that, so they're seizing power to avoid that accountability. Automatic spending increases, baseline budgeting, continuing resolutions, omnibus spending bills. These terms should be pejoratives, as welcomed by the American people as the China virus is. They all say the same thing. Lazy lawmakers who have allowed the federal government to grow to where it is now the co-equal threat to American freedom, liberty, and prosperity with communist China. The unconstitutional fourth branch of unelected government rewards incompetence, punishes excellence, and is the primary driver of the decline and potential fall of our beloved country. Only elected leaders who want to roll up their sleeves, reduce the size, scope, and influence of the federal government to put it back into the confines of the Constitution should get your vote. If this doesn't happen, agencies like the DOJ, FBI, IRS, EPA, DOE, and others will continue their anti-American slide to rule over you, not serve you.
J.P. Morgan's CEO is warning that an economic hurricane is coming. Are you preparing? If you don't do anything, your 401k could be a 201k, and that is not good. So call our trusted friends at Lear Capital. For 25 years, Lear has helped investors own gold to protect against market chaos. It's a good thing. They can help you too. Get your information and up to $15,000 in bonus IRA gold. Just call this number, 800-880-4300. That's 800-880-4300.